11Alive Morning News starts now.
It's now my pleasure to introduce someone whom I love and respect and cherish, my wife, Rosalynn.
This morning, family and friends are remembering First Lady Rosalynn Carter. Rosalynn died Sunday at her home in Plains, Georgia, at the age of 96, just days after entering hospice care. She lived a long and fulfilling life.
We just kind of hit it off really well, and I think I was already in love with him.
Married to the love of her life, former President Jimmy Carter, for 77 years. Despite being soft-spoken, many described Rosalynn as the steel magnolia, politically savvy and fiercely determined.
Every day I see things that I think I could help with, or things that I want to learn more about.
And she did just that by advocating for mental health and giving back to the community by helping with affordable housing through Habitat for Humanity.
I just hope people think I did the best I could.
This morning, 11Alive is remembering former First Lady Rosalynn Carter as a trailblazer and a champion of mental health, caregiving, and also women's rights.
And part of America's longest love story. She and the former president had 4 children, Jack, Chip, Jeff, and Amy.
This morning, 11Alive has team coverage from all angles as we take a look back on the former First Lady's remarkable life and legacy. But first, we do want to make sure you have everything you need to get out the door this morning. Meteorologist Chesley Mcneil joining us. How is the work week starting off for us, Chesley?
Well, a little gray. We do have a few clouds overhead right now. No rain coming out of those clouds yet, but there is the threat for an isolated shower or two. Now, that could pop up at any time, but a little bit more likely once we get past noon or 1 o'clock today. You're looking at temperatures in the 50s starting off this morning. 59 degrees, the warm spot down in Thomaston. You got 41 up into Clayton. Everywhere else we're in the 50s, upper 50s, low 50s, even some mid 50s around the area. So a mild start. We'll have the clouds for much of the day today, again with a few isolated showers, but we're also watching the system back off to the west of us. You can already see where we have a severe thunderstorm warning associated with that. This same system is headed toward us and will increase our chances for rain by tonight into tomorrow. So we'll be watching that. Temperature wise, 54 degrees to start. We'll get up to 60 by noon today, on our way to 64 degrees for an afternoon high. We'll be a bit breezy out there as well with those winds out of the east at 13, 14, 15 miles per hour. Gusts could be a little bit higher than that at times. Okay, well, we've been tracking this rain for you. We're going to time it out for you hour by hour, let you know when, if we have any thunderstorms, when they'll be around coming up. Let's go over to Crash Clark now with a check on the road.
All right, Chesley, appreciate that. Happy Monday to everybody. Yeah, we definitely want to stay weather aware here in the traffic department because we know what that'll do to our landscape, especially with folks doing some turkey travel. And in fact, what we're looking at right now is just a little bit of GDOT work left over from over the weekend. They're up along 75 southbound out near Barrett Parkway, but as you can see there, early enough where folks are able to get by that. Just watch all those GDOT work zones, whether you think they're active or not, and slow it down. They should be cleared by 5 o'clock. Otherwise, nice and quiet to start off your Monday ride. Cheryl?
Crash, thank you. This morning, people all across the country are sending their thoughts and prayers to the Carter family as they remember former First Lady Rosalynn Carter's life and legacy as not only former President Jimmy Carter's wife, but a partner in everything he did. According to the Carter Center, on Sunday afternoon, she peacefully passed away shortly after 2 o'clock. Family all around her at that time. She was 96 years old.
And her death comes just 2 days after she entered hospice care. 11Alive's Carnes begins our team coverage this morning. He is live in Plains, the Carter's hometown. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning. Rosalynn Carter will forever be remembered here in her hometown as the perfect example of how to care for others. She and her husband, Jimmy, cared enough about this town that they moved back here after leaving the White House. And this is where Rosalynn Carter raised her 4 children and cared for her father after he was diagnosed with cancer. In 1987, she founded the Rosalynn Carter Institute for Caregivers, located in nearby Americus, helping people understand the importance of caring for those who can no longer care for themselves. Tom DePita spent time with both Rosalynn and former President Jimmy Carter. He points out that the couple could have lived anywhere after leaving the White House, but chose Plains.
It's an unprecedented relationship between community and president. I think what people will ultimately realize is that she is probably one of, if not the most significant first ladies of all time.
Rosalynn Carter was a devoted member of Maranatha Baptist Church here in Plains. Coming up in the next half hour, you will hear from her niece, who spoke about Rosalynn Carter's legacy during Sunday services at Maranatha Baptist. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jerry. Looking forward to hearing that. We always hear about President Carter. It is so beautiful to hear just the impact that she has had. And former First Lady Eleanor Rosalynn Smith Carter, she wore so many hats. We're talking wife, mother, partner, advocate. She really dedicated so much of her life to improving the lives of everyone around her in her home state of Georgia and even far beyond. Along with her husband, Mrs. Carter traveled the world shedding light on issues like human rights, caregiving, and also childhood health. This morning, 11Alive's John Shirek shares more on her remarkable legacy.
Her life, the American dream come true.
Well, Jim and I have had great opportunities.
Her heart full of gratitude all her life.
The American people have given us unlimited chances, unlimited opportunities, and make it possible for us to do things that we never would ever have been able to do.
And what Rosalynn Carter did with her life and with her life partner and husband was change lives.
So help me God. So help me God.
49 years old when she entered the national stage in 1976, when Jimmy Carter was elected president, Rosalynn Carter knew going in that as First Lady she would be not only the soft-spoken supporter of her husband.
There's no way that we would be here tonight with Jimmy president without your help. We love and care for every single one of you.
Rosalynn Carter would also redefine the role of First Lady, advancing her relentless drive to pursue an independent agenda, her causes.
Es un gran placer para mí estar aquí.
Jimmy would declare that Rosalynn was the only politician in the family, and he meant it. Her unmatched ferocity to win, cloaked in her gracious Southern charms, earning her the nickname, the Steel Magnolia.
For too long, these people have not received the care they need.
And she went to war for her signature cause, begun years earlier as Georgia's First Lady.
We do have some specific recommendations.
The fight to revolutionize mental health care and healing.
That it's just an illness like any other illness.
Rosalynn Carter's American dream began on August 18, 1927. Born Eleanor Rosalynn Smith in Plains, 130 miles south of Atlanta. When Rosalynn was 13, her father died, and she had to take charge of the family so her mother could get a job outside the home. Rosalynn managed all of that and still graduated from high school and college. And a month before her 19th birthday, she and Jimmy married. They had 3 sons, and 15 years after number 3, they had a daughter. And all those years and beyond, Rosalynn was a full partner with Jimmy in business and in local and state and then national politics. And after the White House, she and Jimmy co-founded the Carter Center in Atlanta, focusing on helping the weakest, the poorest, the sickest.
We know that mental illness is a disease as any other.
And helping achieve a monumental shift in health insurance. So now it covers mental illnesses just as it does physical illnesses.
And almost everyone suffering from mental illness can be helped.
This is a woman who began a joyous love affair with fly fishing relatively late in life, who enjoyed a glass of wine and laughter with her friends and expanding family, a night owl to Jimmy the early bird, working full-time into her 90s, the girl from Plains who grew up making opportunities for others around the world.
My dream for the future would be peace in the world and freedom from sickness. The best thing we could do is work toward that goal.
Rosalynn Carter, the American dream come true.
What an incredible legacy. This morning there are reflections coming in from all over the world.
From fellow former First Ladies to friends and family in Plains and also local leaders right here in Atlanta. 11Alive's Maniece joining us in studio this morning to show us how people are remembering Rosalynn.
Aisha and Cheryl, this morning, people all over Metro Atlanta, they're mourning the passing of former First Lady Rosalynn Carter with a number of heartfelt condolences. Over on X, formerly known as Twitter, we've seen messages from Governor Brian Kemp, the Braves, Bernice King, Habitat for Humanity, which was an organization that was close to her heart, Senators Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff, and so many more. We're also hearing from Ambassador Andrew Young, who knew and worked with her and the former president closely. In 1977, President Jimmy Carter appointed Young to serve as the nation's first African-American ambassador to the United Nations. He's remembering her as a world citizen.
She was really and truly a world citizen and a wonderful representative of these United States, and a tremendous support to her husband. In fact, I don't know that he ever made a decision without, whether he asked her or not, he heard her opinion.
Coming up in the next half hour, I'll have a look at how Mrs. Carter is being honored by current President Joe Biden, as well as other former presidents and their first ladies. Back to you.
Ariana, thank you. This morning, we are learning more about how former First Lady Rosalynn Carter's life will be celebrated here in the coming days. So on Monday, November 27th, she will lie in repose at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum. The public is invited there. That's going to be from 6 p.m. until 10. And then on Tuesday, there will be a tribute service at Glenn Memorial Church at Emory University. This is for invited guests only. Then on Wednesday, the funeral services will take place at Maranatha Baptist Church there in Plains. That is also for invited guests.
Time now is 4:39. Chesley, a lot of kids off school this week, wondering what the weather's going to be like out there for the days off.
Well, it is going to be pretty warm to start, and then as we head toward the end of the week, that's when things will start to cool down a little bit. Not as cool as what we're seeing up here in the Northern Plains. You're looking at temperatures in the 30s over toward Denver, Kansas City at 37. We'll be in the 60s for today. Look at those 80s down toward New Orleans, 70s back toward Dallas, Texas. Got a system out here to the Midwest that we're watching as it continues to strengthen and spread over toward the east. It will bring the rain our way. Some much needed rainfall certainly coming our way as we head toward tomorrow. Not much today. The clouds are in place. In fact, the clouds will get thicker as we head through the day. We'll have a chance for a few isolated showers ahead of the system, but the heavier rain won't get in here until we get to tomorrow. So your forecast for today calls for temperatures to start off in the 50s. You're looking at 60 by noon, 64 degrees for your afternoon high. We're looking at 60 by 7 o'clock tonight. Again, that rain gets a little bit heavier by tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a very wet commute for us. In the afternoon, there could be some thunderstorms around. Going to time that out for you hour by hour in the full forecast coming up. Fresh.
All right, Chesley, appreciate that. All right, let's talk a little turkey travel because it's that time. Yeah, the week is upon us. And not only does Chesley give his 7-day forecast, but I got a 7-day travel forecast for you from our friends at GDOT. Now, today, Monday and Tuesday, we expect pretty moderate traffic. Of course, Wednesday is going to be the big travel day. Everybody making the mass exodus heading out of town. Thursday and Friday, a little on the quiet side. Then folks come back. And look at the Sunday, too. This is new. A high potential for crashes. So we got to be real careful, everybody coming back into town. That'll be a little bit later on in the night, around 5 to 8 p.m. Cheryl?
Crash, thank you. The Rosalynn Carter Institute for Caregivers serves and supports both professional and family caregivers. Next, we take a look at Rosalynn's legacy as a lifelong advocate and champion for mental health research. Welcome back. It is 4:44. Many know Rosalynn Carter as the former First Lady and the wife of President Jimmy Carter. One of her lasting legacies is being a champion for mental health research and care. 11Alive's Christy Diaz joins us now from the Carter Center with more on how that came to be, Christy, and where it will go in the future. Good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl. For a woman with many legacies, her advocacy for mental health will be one of her greatest. It is a cause that mattered to her deeply, even years before she and President Carter were in the White House. Many of the services and legislation of present day are because of Mrs. Carter's relentless fight. She co-founded the Carter Center, which has a mental health branch. She created a mental health journalism fellowship, which I was a part of, to train journalists how to accurately and sensitively report on mental health. She testified before the Senate, one of the first ladies to do so, worked on the Georgia Mental Health Parity Act, and she created the Rosalynn Carter Institute for Caregivers on the campus of Georgia Southwestern, where Mrs. Carter went to school. And even at 96 years old, after announcing her own diagnosis of dementia and then announcing home hospice, the former First Lady, she led by example, pushing the conversation forward once again.
She's put her name next to this population in a way that creates a visibility that otherwise wouldn't exist. There's just a commitment to whatever cause they have put their name to for it to move forward. And you, as a participant in that, just feel like you've got to keep it going.
She also wrote several books on the issue, including these, and they stay displayed at the Rosalynn Carter Institute for Caregivers in Americus, Georgia, right next door to Plains. Now, I know much about RCI because I, too, was also a caregiver for my father after an early onset Alzheimer's dementia diagnosis. He finished his battle with that about 3 years ago, but now the foundation that bears his name, helps partners with the Institute in an effort to raise funds and awareness for caregivers to help with their strength, resilience, and resolve. And the CEO says that even now they are committed to continuing the legacy of Mrs. Carter.
Which is so important because for you and your family and so many others, this is something that has such a direct and profound impact. So the lasting work continues and will make a difference in so many lives. Christy Diaz reporting there for us. Thank you so much, Christy. As people look to pay tribute to the former First Lady, we're connecting you with ways to honor her life. Just text the word Carter to the number on your screen. We'll send you the latest information from the Carter Center straight to your phone.
All right, 4:47 the current time. Crash Clark here with you. All right, it's quiet now. We know the week's going to get a little bit busier with some travel, so let's give you some good news. GDOT will be suspending lane closures for your turkey travel. That's going to start 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, and that'll run all the way through till 10 p.m. Sunday morning. Now, again, expect that heaviest travel around Wednesday time, and I mean right around noon, 1 o'clock. That connector and that south side ride on 75 is going to get jam-packed, and of course, remember that heavy traffic and high risk of wrecks on Sunday coming back. In fact, 75 northbound, we see delays as far back as Locust Grove coming into town. As we take a live look, 285 near Georgia 400 and Roswell Road. Quiet now, no construction out on across that top end perimeter, but we'll see what the Monday holds for us. In the meantime, Chesley, Mcneil, we know we got some wet stuff coming, so we got to be weather aware.
Yeah, likely to see some heavy rain coming in our area by tomorrow. There is a chance or a threat for an isolated shower or two to pop up, and that could be at any time. Could start this morning, but a little bit more likely once we get toward the afternoon is when we'll start to see some of that rain coming down. We have the clouds that are building into the area, so we're starting off with mostly cloudy skies. At least that's where we'll start. We'll see those clouds continuously build in as we head through the day, and it will turn a bit breezy on you as well. So not the prettiest of starts to the week, but we got it. Temperatures are in the 50s just about everywhere you look. Upper 50s right now in Atlanta, you're at 58. 59 is the warm spot down in Thomaston. 54 degrees in Carrollton. 57 Marietta. 53 degrees rather up in Georgia's Rome. Cool spot would be Clayton right now at 41 starting off this morning. Light jacket will do you. Light sweater, fine. 7 out of a possible 11 today on the wazometer. This is how we rate your weather on a scale from 1 to 11, with 11 being the most perfect day we can have for this time of year. 64 degrees will be our afternoon high temperature. Getting on up there, close to where we should be for this time of year, so a comfortable afternoon. Now, with that front making its way toward the area, we're going to notice our rain chance going up. 90% chance for the rain to be around tomorrow compared to today, where we have a 30% chance. Goes down for us on Wednesday, Thursday, and then a 20% chance by Friday. Again, that front coming through will knock those temperatures down as well, so it will be a little bit cooler as we head toward Thanksgiving. Notice the rain right now back off to the west of us, over toward parts of Tennessee, and over northern parts of Mississippi and in Alabama as well. This heading up toward the northeast. Again, isolated showers. This system that you see right now will start to strengthen a little bit as it begins to move our way. Area of low pressure with accompanying cold front. That warm front will move through the area first, and because we'll be in between the warm front and that cold front, we could see a few thunderstorms come our way by tomorrow afternoon. Right now, high pressure down to the south, up to the northwest. That will get out of the way, and those clouds will continue to build in. We'll have severe weather back off to the west of us today. That tan area that you see over toward Jackson, Mississippi, that extends through Louisiana into eastern Texas, that's a level 3 threat or an enhanced risk for severe weather. Now, the system will weaken as it moves towards us by tomorrow. Notice we're just down to that level 1 threat. So we have an area of dark green here, which is a marginal risk for severe weather, which means for us, isolated thunderstorms with some gusty winds are certainly possible. For the most part, we're just going to see that heavy rain, a couple flashes of lightning and thunder. We'll be watching those winds associated with it, but you can see from Atlanta, Athens, down through Macon, that level 1 threat for severe weather. That'll be tomorrow. Today, the isolated showers is what we're going to see today. Again, a little bit more likely once we get by or around noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. After that point is when we'll see these isolated showers around. Not everyone gets wet from this, but once that rain moves in tomorrow, it'll be a little bit more widespread, especially during the morning. By the time we get to the afternoon, you notice that heavy rain coming through as well. Anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, maybe even higher in some spots as that front pushes all that rain our way. It gets out of the way by the time we get toward Tuesday evening, but I think the clouds will hold on. Mostly cloudy skies for us on Wednesday. I don't think we'll see much in the way of rainfall, but at least we'll have those clouds around and it clears out just in time for Thanksgiving, where we'll have partly sunny skies. And again, a bit cooler. 56 degrees will be the high temperature on Wednesday. By Thursday, Thanksgiving will be at 58. Doing some shopping on Friday, maybe stay inside and do it on your computer, right? Small chance for some rain with temperatures staying in the mid to upper 50s, and we'll hold that right on through the upcoming weekend. Aisha?
All right, Chesley, thank you. 4:51 now. A love story unlike any other. Next, we'll take a look back at Jimmy and Rosalynn Carter's decades of love. As we remember Rosalynn Carter this morning, we take a look back at her legendary love story with former President Jimmy Carter. It is a love story that lasted decades, making the Carters the longest married presidential couple in history. Andrea Mitchell has more.
It was a love story now spanning more than 7 decades. Former President Jimmy Carter and First Lady Rosalynn Carter, already the longest married first couple, surpassed 75 years of marriage 2 years ago and celebrated.
75 years, I can't predict.
Both growing up in Plains, Georgia, the Carters went on their first date back in 1945. Though Rosalynn initially rejected his first proposal, the couple tied the knot on July 7, 1946. Their love has seen them through raising 4 children, a presidential term, running the family peanut farm, humanitarian work around the world, and a cancer diagnosis. They've even gone from sharing a kiss on the presidential debate stage to a smooch on the kiss cam at a 2019 NBA game. The relationship hasn't been without tribulations, though, the couple reflecting on writing a book together on Today.
We really did have a terrible time writing the book.
We thought perhaps the last chapter would be about our divorce, and it the book.
The 39th president also sharing this marriage advice with Judy Woodruff on PBS.
We make up and give each other a kiss before we go to sleep.
The Carters celebrated the milestone anniversary 2 years ago together in their hometown of Plains, Georgia.
And to my wife, Rosalynn, I want to express a particular gratitude.
It has been a really wonderful 75 years.
Beautiful, and that was NBC's Andrea Mitchell reporting there. What I love about their love story is that sometimes you think of, especially male politicians, they just are so serious and like, you know, just forward. He was such a mush for her.
Absolutely.
You know, in all the photos, they were so warm with each other.
Yeah, you know, I was with them in Haiti, and they walked around holding hands all the time. And he would always look and ask for her opinion, like, what should we do? One day they said, he said, well, should we go and have dinner? She said, no, we're going to serve everyone first, and then we'll eat. And he said, great idea.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Follow her lead.
Yes, yes, such a beautiful story. And we have much more on the longest married presidential couple in history. Just look for Jimmy and Rosalynn's love story on our website, 11alive.com.
4:57 now. Our coverage of life and legacy of Rosalynn Carter is just beginning. Next at 5, we're going to take you to Plains with a look at how the former First Lady's hometown is remembering her today.